Imagine freeing yourself from the constant need for someone else's approval and affection. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to experience love from a place of peace and freedom, where your happiness doesn't depend on someone else's actions or decisions? If this thought resonates with you, stay with me because today we'll explore something profound and essential: the first step to overcoming emotional dependency. Hello, dear friends. Welcome to our space for reflection on love and relationships. This is Relationship in Focus, a channel dedicated to helping you build healthier, more balanced, and more meaningful relationships. I wish you and your family happiness, peace, and success in your relationships. Before we dive in, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, leave a like, comment, and share this video with someone you think might benefit from these insights. We'll be sharing ideas and reflections that can transform how you approach love and, most importantly, help you break free from the emotional dependency that often limits our ability to fully enjoy a relationship. So, if you're ready, let's take a moment to prepare ourselves. Take a deep breath and try to relax. Allow yourself to reflect on your own experiences in love and on your deeper desires within a relationship. As we talk about emotional dependency, some important questions might come up. What are my wants and expectations in a relationship? Do I feel like I can be happy alone? Or have I come to rely on someone else to feel complete? It's natural to want affection and support from someone we love. That's part of what love is. However, problems arise when we start believing that our self-worth or happiness relies solely on having that person in our life. This belief can lead to an unbalanced relationship, where we end up putting our own needs aside, prioritizing the other person so much that we lose touch with our own well-being and even our own identity. One common example of emotional dependency is when we feel a strong sense of anxiety or insecurity every time our partner doesn't immediately respond to our messages. You may have experienced that feeling of emptiness or fear of losing the other person, which leads you to make concessions that go against what you truly want or need. These are common signs of emotional dependency, and they often generate a range of negative emotions, including anxiety, low self-esteem, and in some cases, even mental and physical exhaustion. At this point, it's important to clarify that overcoming emotional dependency doesn't mean you'll stop loving or caring about someone. In fact, it means you'll be building a stronger and more genuine love, one that begins with respect and care for yourself. That is the kind of love that can truly lead to a happy, lasting relationship. And taking the first step toward emotional independence is, in itself, an act of self-love. The first step in overcoming emotional dependency is to recognize and accept that it exists. This may sound simple, but we're often unaware of how much we rely on someone else to feel whole or secure. This first step, though challenging, is essential for making any meaningful change in our emotional life. Recognizing emotional dependency is an act of courage that allows us to clearly see how we relate to ourselves and others. To begin this process of self-reflection, ask yourself some honest questions. What makes me so afraid of being alone? Why do I feel that I need someone else in order to feel happy or secure? These questions serve as a foundation for important self-reflection and may uncover insecurities or fears that have been present for a long time. While this can feel uncomfortable at first, facing this reality with honesty and without judgment is one of the keys to taking that first step toward emotional freedom. At this point, it's crucial to understand that acknowledging emotional dependency is not a sign of weakness. It's quite the opposite. It's a sign of strength, as it allows us to take responsibility for our emotions and decisions. Accepting this reality is liberating because it gives us the chance to work on our relationship with ourselves, instead of expecting others to fill our emotional voids. Rather than constantly waiting for something from outside, we start to build our well-being from within. Sometimes recognizing this dependency can be difficult because it involves accepting vulnerabilities we've tried to hide, even from ourselves. We're often taught that we should be strong and self-sufficient, but everyone has their internal struggles and moments of insecurity. Accepting that we're human, with emotions and challenges, allows us to move toward a healthier emotional life. This is where emotional dependency can begin to transform. By accepting its presence in our lives, we open the door to a much fuller and more conscious way of experiencing love. Recognizing it helps us make decisions that are more aligned with our well-being and what we truly want for ourselves. Additionally, it's important to remember that emotional dependency doesn't define who we are. It's just one part of our emotional experience, a part we can change and overcome if we set our minds to it. Accepting this reality also helps us see that we are on a journey of growth. This means we don't need to resolve everything immediately or be hard on ourselves if we find ourselves slipping back into old patterns. Emotional dependency is something that has developed over time, so it's normal that overcoming it also requires time and patience. Each step we take, no matter how small, brings us closer to a freer, more balanced version of ourselves. So, as a first step, I invite you to reflect deeply on this dependency, to recognize it, and to accept it without judgment. As we move forward with this process, we'll see how we can start building a stronger and more loving relationship with ourselves, one that, in time, will allow our connections with others to become healthier, more authentic, and more fulfilling. Now that we've explored the first step of recognizing and accepting emotional dependency, it's important to understand that this process doesn't stop here. Once we recognize this need for external validation, the next step is to start strengthening our self-esteem and self-confidence. These are essential foundations for building a more balanced and less dependent relationship, as emotional dependency is often deeply connected with low self-esteem. To break the cycle of emotional dependency, it's essential to develop a more positive and realistic view of yourself. One of the best ways to do this is to take some time to acknowledge your own qualities, abilities, and achievements, no matter how small they may seem. You might start by making a list of things you value about yourself, your achievements, your talents, or even the small victories of daily life. This practice has a deep impact, as it helps you realize that your worth doesn't depend on someone else's approval or affection. Additionally, dedicating time to activities that make you feel good about yourself is an excellent way to strengthen your self-esteem. Seek out hobbies, sports, volunteering, or any activity that allows you to reconnect with yourself and gives you a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. These personal moments are invaluable because they help remind you that you're capable of feeling happy and complete without relying solely on another person. As you discover or rediscover these activities, you strengthen your relationship with yourself and reduce the need to depend on others to feel whole. Another useful exercise to build self-esteem and emotional independence is to practice positive affirmations. Although it may seem simple, repeating affirmations such as, "I am valuable, I am enough, and I deserve love and respect," can positively influence our minds. These affirmations help build a stronger, more resilient mindset, where the need for external validation begins to lose its hold. Starting each day with these positive reminders gradually empowers us to trust ourselves more and to feel secure in our own choices and emotions. Of course, this process of strengthening self-esteem and confidence requires time and dedication. It's not something that happens overnight, but every small step is important on this journey to emotional freedom. It's natural to feel vulnerable or insecure at times, as we all have days when our emotions feel a bit more intense. The important thing is not to give up, and to remember that this journey is an act of self-love that, in the long run, will help you build healthier, more balanced relationships. As you develop a stronger sense of self-esteem, you'll begin to notice changes in how you relate to others. Over time, your need for external validation will decrease, and you'll be able to enjoy your relationships in a more relaxed and fulfilling way, without feeling that you constantly need the other person's attention or validation to feel good. This is one of the greatest benefits of strengthening your relationship with yourself. You become more emotionally independent and can experience love in a more authentic and free way. Now that we understand the importance of working on self-esteem, we're ready to move forward to the next step, which will help us establish even more balanced and satisfying relationships. Remember, this process isn't a race, but an opportunity to grow and discover everything you're capable of achieving on your own. The next step in the journey to overcoming emotional dependency is learning to set healthy boundaries in our relationships. When we're caught in dependency, it's common to find it hard to say no and end up giving too much of our time and energy to the other person, often neglecting our own needs and values. However, setting boundaries doesn't mean putting up walls to keep love out. Rather, it's about protecting our individuality and fostering mutual respect. Think of a relationship as a dance in which each person has their own space and rhythm. When we fail to set boundaries, it's as if only one person in the relationship leads every step, which inevitably creates an imbalance and, over time, dissatisfaction. Setting boundaries means defining how far you're willing to go without giving up your own values and without losing sight of who you are. To begin, reflect on what's essential to you and identify the things that are non-negotiable in a relationship. Ask yourself,
What behaviors or situations cause me discomfort or disrupt my peace? Once you've identified these points, it becomes easier to communicate your boundaries clearly and respectfully. Remember, people around us, especially in a romantic relationship, can't read our minds, so expressing our limits honestly and openly is essential. Setting healthy boundaries not only makes you feel more secure and respected, but it also strengthens your confidence.
It's a crucial step to breaking the cycle of emotional dependency, as it shows your commitment to your own well-being and respect for your needs. Loving someone doesn't mean losing yourself, and mutual respect is the foundation of any long-lasting, meaningful relationship. Another key step in this process is developing the ability to be content with being alone. For those who have lived in emotional dependency, this may be one of the most challenging steps, but it's also one of the most transformative. The ability to enjoy one's own company and find peace in moments of solitude is fundamental to building an emotionally balanced life. Often we seek another person's company to fill a void or to meet an emotional need, which makes us dependent in an unhealthy way. Being okay alone doesn't mean giving up relationships. It means learning to enjoy our own company. To start, try finding activities that you truly enjoy doing by yourself, such as reading, watching a movie, exercising, or even traveling. These moments are valuable opportunities to discover who you are, what you like, and what makes you happy. When you learn to be okay with yourself, you choose relationships from a place of freedom, not out of need. This strengthens you emotionally and also reduces the fear of loss and rejection because you know that, no matter what happens, you're capable of being at peace and happy on your own. This is one of the most important foundations for building a healthy, balanced life. The final step in this journey is building a diverse support network. Emotional dependency often leads us to place all our emotional needs on one person, expecting them to complete us and provide everything we need. This not only puts pressure on the relationship, but also often leads to frustration and resentment. By building a support network, you spread this emotional load across friends, family, co-workers, and other people in your life. Each person can offer different kinds of support and bring something valuable to your relationships, making them richer and more balanced. Imagine having one friend to talk to about work, a family member to seek advice from, and another friend to share leisure activities with. This support network not only provides security and well-being, but also reduces the pressure on your romantic relationship, making it lighter and healthier. Additionally, diversifying your relationships encourages personal growth and prevents you from falling into the trap of being emotionally dependent on one person alone. In a healthy relationship, both partners have their own support networks and individual interests, which strengthens their bond. When you develop a support network, you begin to see that romantic love is just one of the many forms of affection and connection we can experience in life. As you progress in this journey, you may notice that little by little, you're building a stronger, more stable, emotional life. Emotional dependency starts to diminish, and you become more able to enjoy your relationships without feeling trapped or limited. This is the path toward a freer kind of love, a love that begins within you and reflects in your relationships. If you've made it this far, I invite you to leave a comment saying, "I am committed to a true and healthy love." This phrase represents your commitment to yourself in this transformation, a promise to live more balanced and mindful relationships. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with someone who could benefit from it. See you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring topics on love, relationships, and how to build an emotionally healthy life. Until then, remember, you deserve a love that begins and flourishes within yourself.